any funny or amusing things based on your heritage or cultural background?
But it doesn't have to be funny. I mean, it can be rude or offensive also.
Oh, okay.
So,
this is good. This is a very serious question. Okay.
The person that we did from Hawaii, literally, she's gotten questions like, "Do you have electricity?
Where do you
Where
live?
do you live? Do you live in a house?"
Okay.
Like, just,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It can be funny. It can be ignorant. It can be. It can be whatever.
Yeah. No, I mean honestly, like I left China when I was 4. When I first started this journey. I've been on both sides. I've been on both sides of that, and I think in life, I think it's more of. I think I was just too young to be offended to be on that side of things. When I started coming into that age of reason, or that maturity of reason. You might not want to put this. I thought people were dumb. I thought it was like if you were asking something like that towards my culture, it's probably because you just, you grew up somewhere, right, and you haven't seen much. So, I'm going to be nice and I'm going to try to like educate you on stuff.
But what age is the cutoff?
Like, right after how they say boys mature a little bit older than ladies do.
I can understand that.
Like late teens.
At some point you're like, okay, really?
Late teens,
Like,
yeah.
But what questions would those be? Like, what would you get?
I don't know. I remember I was in Shanghai once, and I was in one of those. I was in a very nice area, but it's Shanghai. It's crowded, and I think this guy was kind of talking at me for walking really slowly. And I'm like, yo, bro, there's like 10 people ahead of me.
Right.
But he was speaking to his girlfriend, who was also Chinese, and he was speaking in English. I mean, this was at a time in China where I guess if you knew English, right, it's safe to assume that, you could get away with saying a lot of stuff and people wouldn't understand. So I turned around and I was like, if you don't like it here, you're welcome to go. So my stance to that is it's not, I don't take offense to that. Right? I think I either find it funny or I don't think people are below me. I just think like, hey, look, like people have different experiences, right? Like sometimes there are times in my life where I wish I grew up in one place and I don't have to deal with all this, this visa issues and this and that and all this stuff. So I don't take offense to that. I was just like, hey, look, it's not like, it's not Chinese barbecue because I'm Chinese and I invite you over to barbecue.
Right. It's just a barbecue.
It's just like we're having steaks. Bring nachos. Bring nachos.
Did you have to teach yourself that? Like, was there a certain point where you decided like I can't be angry about this?
Oh no. There's no. It's not a difficult thing. It's not like I need to adapt to the world. It's not like when I meet people that have traveled as much as I have, it's the same way. It's just like you can't expect people to have the same knowledge as you once you're fortunate to like speak French and Chinese and English, right? Because at one point you were that clueless guy that didn't speak a word of French and you didn't know how things worked out. So
I think that's a better aspect to have for sure.
And when you were learning the culture, you probably frustrated and you were probably like, screw this. Like this is like in my country, it's almost right. And then you probably offended some people too. And so I think the world's becoming smaller. I think the statement of like, hey, they're just different, like that carries so much more these days than a couple of years ago.
And that's what it just needs to be. It just needs to be you're different. It doesn't need to be like you're different, but why? Or you're different because of this. Like you don't have to point them out. Like,
and it's everywhere in work too. Like if you work for global companies now, it's just like you can't be like, whoa, this is bad. You have to be like, before you say stuff like that, you be like, okay, where's this person from? Is this offensive?
Yes.
Right? Because sometimes it's weird because it's like too many rules, but the origin of the rules does make sense, right? Because you could be talking to someone that is different. Food as well. Like, a lot of people that are trying Asian food for the first time, the texture is the biggest obstacle. It's not the flavor, it's the texture. Yeah, the soggy stuff, the mushy stuff. Yeah, congee. Tofu, a lot of my friends, they can't. Yeah, the flavor's great, but it's very, very interesting. Well, I could be like, well, you're dumb because this obviously tastes good, right? But it's not. It's very, very different.
Cool,
That's very. That's like if I had something and I was like, "Whoa, this shit's spicy," and some guy was like, "Well, you're dumb. I mean, this is like, you can't handle spice," and I'm like, "No, it's just not my thing, right? Like, yeah.
Different is good.
No, it's good. It's good, and I think it's for the better. I think if you have and that again, it comes back to perspective. You change from a negative to a positive perspective,
Right.
reality changes.